the stacks. Let's begin by understanding what we mean by the quantum age. We are entering an era characterized by significant advancement and widespread adoption of quantum computing and related technologies. Quantum computers harness the unique principles of quantum mechanics, such as superpositions and entanglements, to perform calculation exponentially faster than classic computing. But why does quantum computing matter so much to the cybersecurity? Simply, this new level of computational power poses both remarkable opportunities and also considerable threats. Quantum computers can potentially break many of the cryptographic algorithms that currently protect our data, including widely used methods such as RSA and also ECC or elliptic curve cryptography. This capability represents a fundamental shift, urging us to rethink how we approach cybersecurity altogether. Throughout today's talk, we explore the essential fundamental of the quantum computing, the specific threats that quantum computing introduces to existing cybersecurity protocols, and also emerging technologies like post-quantum cryptography and quantum key decryption that can help us address these threats. And also we will illustrate these points through relevant case studies and real-world examples. With that, let's dive deeper into the quantum computing basics. Now, before we delve into the specific cybersecurity implications, let's briefly explore the fundamental concept of the quantum computing. First, it's crucial to understand how quantum computers differ from the classical computer we use today. Traditional or classical computers operate with bits, which are binary and represent either a 0 or a 1 at any given moment. Quantum computers, however, use quantum bits, or we call it qubits, which leverage quantum mechanical phenomena, enabling a fundamentally different way of processing information. Let's examine some key quantum concepts to grasp this difference clearly. First of all, let's talk about the qubits. Unlike classical bits, qubits can exist in multiple states simultaneously due to phenomenon known as superposition. This means that they can represent both 0 and 1 at the same time, greatly expanding the computational capability. The next one is superposition. This property allows quantum computers to process numerous possibilities simultaneously, offering exponential increases in computational speed in comparison to the classical systems. Another unique feature in quantum is entanglement. So when two qubits become entangled, their states become linked so intricately that measuring or altering one instantly affect the others, no matter how far apart they are. So this phenomenon is central to many quantum computing breakouts. Thanks to these powerful quantum effects, quantum computers can achieve extraordinary computational speedups, enabling them to tackle previously impossible or highly impractical problems. So with these fundamentals in mind, let's now discuss these specific threats quantum computing poses to the current cybersecurity systems. Okay, let's talk about the cybersecurity threats from quantum computing aids. So having established the basics of quantum computing, let's now explore the specific threats it introduced to cybersecurity. Quantum computers are not just powerful tools. They represent a significant threat to the cryptographic systems we rely upon today. Modern encryption methods such as RSA and also elliptic curve cryptography and also Diffie-Hellman are built upon mathematical problems that are difficult, if not impossible, for classical computer to solve efficiently. Unfortunately, quantum computing fundamentally changed these equations. Two quantum algorithms are practically relevant to our cybersecurity concerns. The first one, Shor's algorithm, and the next one is Grover's algorithm. Peter Shor developed an algorithm capable of efficiently factoring large integers. This directly impacts RSA encryption as RSA security relies on the complexity of the factoring large prime number. With a sufficiently powerful quantum computers, RSA encryption could effectively be broken, exposing sensitive data. And also developed by Low Grover, this algorithm, Grover algorithm, dramatically improves the search speed in unsorted databases, effectively reducing the security of the symmetric cryptographic algorithm like AES. Specifically, Grover's algorithm could theoretically halve the effective key length, necessitating the use of the larger encryption key to maintain security. So what are the practical implications of these quantum threats? Organizations around the world must recognize the urgency of the preparing now. Data that secures today could potentially be decrypted later once quantum computing matures. This means industries, governments, and institutions should immediately start assessing their vulnerability, upgrading their cryptographic protocols, and adopting quantum-resistant security measures. Understanding these threats clearly sets the stage for exploring viable solutions. Next, after it, we will examine how post-quantum cryptography aims to protect us against these looming quantum threats. Let's now take a closer look at exactly why quantum computing poses such a significant threat to modern cryptographic systems. The cryptographic methods widely used today, such as RSA, ECC, and also Diffie-Hellman key exchange, rely fundamentally on mathematical problems that classical computers find extremely challenging to solve. So quantum computing, however, changes this landscape dramatically. So RSA is a cornerstone of a modern encryption, relies on the complexity of the factoring very large numbers. So quantum computing, specifically using Shor's algorithm, can efficiently solve this factoring problem, rendering the RSA insecure. Also, ECC is another widely used method, specifically critical in secure data communications. So ECC security hangs on the difficulty of the discrete logarithm problems, which quantum computers can also efficiently solve using Shor algorithm. Another one, in the other hand, Diffie-Hellman key exchange is a method used for secure communication and key establishment, faces similar vulnerability. Quantum algorithms threaten its security by solving discrete logarithm and factorization problem efficiently. An important practical concern here is now as the harvest now, decrypt later scenario. Adversaries could potentially intercept and store encrypted data today, then decrypt it in the future when quantum computers are powerful enough. This creates urgency, especially for organizations holding sensitive data intended to remain confidential for the sake. In response, the global cybersecurity community, including the industry leaders and government organizations, is rapidly advancing towards quantum resistance solutions. Major standardization efforts, such as ongoing NIST post-quantum cryptographic project, are already underway, seeking to establish new cryptographic standards that withstand quantum attacks. The clear takeaway here is that transitioning to the quantum-resistant cryptography is not merely a future task. It's an immediate priority. With this concept in mind, let's now explore some promising quantum-resistant cryptographic approach. Given the serious threat quantum computing poses, it's crucial to explore the solutions being developed to protect our digital infrastructure. This brings us to post-quantum cryptography, or PQC. Let's talk what is exactly is the PQC. Simply, PQC refers to cryptographic algorithm specifically designed to remain secure even in the presence of the powerful quantum computers. These algorithms, often referred to as quantum-safe cryptography, rely on mathematical problems that quantum algorithms have not been able to solve efficiently. Let's briefly overview the main type of the quantum resistance algorithm currently being explored. The first one is the lattice-based cryptography, widely considered among the strongest candidate. Lattice-based cryptography depends on complex geometric structure known as lattice. Notable examples here include crystals Kyber for encryption and also crystals dilithium for digital signature. The next one is hash-based cryptography. These algorithms derive their security from cryptographic hash functions, which remains robust against quantum attacks. So prominent examples are here is XMSS and also SPHINCS+. The next one is code-based cryptography. Based on error-correcting codes, these approaches leverage the difficulty quantum computers have in decoding complex error-correcting problems. Classical MAC-Alice is a prime example of this type. The next one is the multivariate cryptography. This category involves solving complex systems of multivariate polynomial equations, another challenging problem for quantum computing. Notable algorithms include the Rainbow and HFE. So currently, extensive global efforts are underway to standardize these quantum-resistant cryptographic approaches. The most prominent initiative is the NIST PQC competitions, spread by the U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology. NIST's ongoing effort aims to evaluate and ultimately standardize PQC algorithm for global adoption. Parallel initiatives by organizations like ETSI and also ISO are collaborating internationally to prepare industries and governments for quantum safe transition. Understanding and adopting these new standards will be critical in our cybersecurity strategies moving forward. With this knowledge in hand, let's next consider quantum key distribution, or QKD, another promising quantum era cybersecurity solutions. In addition to post-quantum cryptography, another promising approach to quantum era cybersecurity is QKD, or quantum key distribution. QKD is a secure communication method that directly leverage the principle of quantum mechanics to enable two parties to generate a shared secret cryptographic key. unlike traditional encryption methods, the security of QKD doesn't rely on computational complexity. Instead, it depends entirely on fundamental physical laws. A great example to illustrate QKD is the BB84 protocol, introduced in 1984 by Bennett and Brazzard. This method used polarized photons, individual particles of light, to encode information. Due to quantum mechanics, any attempts by an eavesdropper to intercept and measure these photons in, inevitably change their quantum states. Such disturbances are immediately detectable by the communication parties, ensuring that any interception can be identified and counteracted in real time. The primary benefits of QKD include its theoretically unbreakable security guaranteed by quantum physics. It could be help us for real-time detection of the eavesdropping, ensuring ultimate confidence in secure communication. However, QKD also faces some limitations. For example, communication distance are currently limited, typically spanning tens to a few hundred kilometers due to signal loss in optical fibers. And also deploying a QKD requires highly specialized infrastructures, including quantum communication channels and dedicated hardware. Despite these challenges, we are already seeking QKD adapted in the real world. Practical implementation exists in highly sensitive sectors, such as governments, communication systems, banking network, and critical infrastructure. For example, China's Messi's satellite has successfully demonstrated satellite-based QKD, significantly extending secure communication ranges. Worldwide, commercial interest is steadily growing, signaling promising future for broader QKD adoption. Another example, also in the Singapore, they're working on quantum network, and I personally be in touch with them about this. And they are also have many considerable work in Singapore. Now, having discussed PQAC and QKD, let's explore how quantum computing intersect with another existing exciting frontiers. We call it quantum machine learning in cybersecurity. So far, we have focused on how quantum technology affects encryption and secure communication. Now let's explore how quantum computing intersects with AI, specifically in the form of quantum machine learning or QML, and how this can impact cybersecurity. So QML is the integration of the quantum computing with classical machine learning algorithm. By leveraging quantum phenomena such as superposition and entanglement, QML can process data in ways that are either significantly faster or more efficient than what classical system can achieve. But why is this relevant to cybersecurity? Well, cyber threats today are increasingly sophisticated and high volume. So traditional detection systems often struggle with the scale and complexity of the modern attacks. This is where QML offers a potential advantage. It enables the rapid analysis of high-dimensional security data, making it suitable for real-time threat detection and responses. So let's look at some potential application. The first one could be the intrusion detection system, or IDS. So QML can enhance the speed and accuracy of anomaly detection, helping to identify suspicious activities in real time, specifically in large scale or dynamic environments like IoT and cloud networks. The next one could be malware detection. By using quantum-enhanced pattern recognition, QML can improve malware classification and feature extraction from massive data sets. The next one could be useful for network traffic analysis. So quantum algorithm can assist in identifying abnormal or malicious traffic patterns, even in encrypted streams, by analyzing complex correlation faster than classical method. That said, there are challenges. Quantum computers are still in their early stage, and we face real limitation in hardware availability, error rates, and how we encode classical data into quantum systems. Moreover, applying QML to cybersecurity requires a rare blend of expertise across three domains: quantum physics, AI or ML, and also cybersecurity, a combination that's still developing. Despite these hurdles, QML is an exciting area that could revolutionize the future of the cyber defense. Next, let's take a step back and look at how industries and governments around the world are preparing for cybersecurity challenges of the quantum era. Now that we have explored the technical side of the quantum cybersecurity, let's talk about how the world is preparing for this transition from industries to government. Starting with the private sector, we are already seeing early adoption of quantum safe practices, particularly in high-stakes industries like banking, telecommunications, and critical infrastructures. These sectors handle sensitive, long retention data and cannot afford a future decryption risk. Some companies are beginning to implement hybrid cryptographic model and combining classical and post-quantum cryptographic algorithm as a transitional approach. And also in the governmental side, multiple national initiatives are underway. The US National Quantum Initiative, the EU's quantum flagships, and China's strategic investment in quantum technology are examples of large-scale programs aiming to establish quantum leadership and security. Agencies such as NSA, NIST, and ENISA are also issuing quantum readiness guidance to help organizations prepare for secure transition. Enterprise-level actions are ramping up as well. Many large organizations are conducting quantum risk assessment, reviewing their existing cryptographic assets, and starting cryptographic audits to understand which systems are most vulnerable. There is also a growing focus on talent development, as the need for professionals who understand both cybersecurity and quantum computing is rapidly increasing. However, the path forward isn't without obstacles. There is still a general lack of awareness about the urgency of these transitions. Integrating quantum safe solutions with legacy systems, especially in industries like healthcare and manufacturing, is complex and costly. And while the technology is advancing, many quantum secure tools are not yet mature enough for mass deployment. So what does the road ahead look like? It's clear that collaboration is the key between academia and industry and government agencies. Most experts predict a 5 to 10 years horizon for a full-scale transition to quantum-safe infrastructure. This means that now is the time to act, while there is still a window for proactive preparation. Next, so let's talk about the recommendation for actions in the next slide. At this point in this talk, the message should be clear. Quantum threats are real and preparation must begin now. So what should organizations actually do to prepare? Here's some actionable recommendations. First, as an immediate action, begins by conducting cryptographic audits, identify which system rely on vulnerable algorithms like RSA, ECC, or Diffie-Hellman. This gives you a clear picture of your quantum risk exposure. While quantum safe standards are still being finalized, organizations can begin using hybrid encryption models. These combines classical and quantum resistant algorithm offers an extra layer of the protection while maintaining compatibility. It's also crucial to monitor the NIST post-quantum cryptography process. Keep an eye on the algorithm being standardized and recommended so that you can align your internal roadmap with the upcoming best practices. The next one could be a strategic planning. So create a quantum readiness roadmap. Break down your migration into short, mid, and long-term goals. This could help to ensure a phased and manageable transition. And you need to invest in workforce development. This is essential. So your security team need to understand post-quantum cryptography, how it works, and how to implement it. Upskilling now means fewer gaps when the transition becomes urgent. Also, collaborate. No organization can tackle this alone. Engage with universities, research centers, and cybersecurity alliance and government-led initiative. This not only keeps you informed, it allows you to help shape the future of secure digital infrastructure. And for long-term preparedness, begin future-proofing your infrastructure. That means modular cryptographic architecture that can easily swap out or upgrade algorithm as standards evolve. Stay ahead of compliance requirements. Governments and regulators are starting to mandate quantum safe transition, especially in sectors like finance, defense, and healthcare. And if you are in a high security domain, evaluate the feasibility of QKD for ultra secure communication, especially for high value data or long-term confidentiality. The bottom line is preparation isn't just about adopting new tools. It's about building resilience, training your people, and thinking ahead. Organizations that begins this journey now will be the most secure and agile in the quantum era. Let's summarize today's key advantage in the next slide. So first, the quantum threat is real. The first things you can take away from this talk is the quantum threat is real. So quantum computers will eventually be powerful enough to break many of the cryptographic systems we rely on them today, especially RSA, ECC, and other public key schemes. Even if large-scale quantum computers are still a few years away, the threat is already present due to the harvest now defibrillator strategy. Data stolen today could be decrypted tomorrow once the technology catches up. Second, cybersecurity community is not standing still. We are seeing the rapid development in PQAC offering new cryptographic algorithms that are resilient to quantum attacks. So QKD also still limited by infrastructure and scalability, provides a physics-based approach to secure communication. And looking ahead, quantum machine learning holds exciting potential for improving how we detect and respond to the threats in complex environments. The third takeaway is action is needed. So organizations must begin with cryptographic audits and build a quantum readiness roadmap, keeping an eye on NIST PQC standardization efforts is essential also for aligning with upcoming security guidelines. Equally important is investing in training your teams and collaborating across sectors. No single entity can solve these alone. Finally, at a broader perspective, quantum computing isn't just a looming challenge, it's also a rare opportunity to rethink, rebuild, and future proof how we secure our digital worlds. Organizations that act early will not only be better protected, they'll be ahead of the curve in shaping the next era of secure computing. Okay, thank you very much and for your attendance. And now I'm available for any question you can make here.